The Toronto Real Estate Board has posted their updated sales stats, and it could be exactly what some sellers have been waiting for. Daquan Henry here again, and as always, I want to keep you guys up to date with everything going on with real estate in the GTA. Going into the second half of the year, there are many predictions saying that it's going to be a lot busier for the last two quarters versus the first two of 2026, including the Real Estate Board's president, who had this to say: "We expect accelerating transactions and more competition between buyers in the last 6 months of the year, helping to satisfy pent-up demand and ultimately resulting in renewed price growth." This market update came with a few surprises, as there was a large jump in the total amount of sales activity that happened year over year. And because of that, there is a narrative out there suggesting that the market is rebounding. But let's take a deeper look at the numbers and see if that's something that's actually happening. So if we zoom in and look at all of the year over year stats, we did see sales jump 9.4% from last year to this year, as almost 10% would be considered a quite substantial jump, all while at the same time, there's almost 13% less new listings that have come out this month versus last year. So from just looking at the stats and not understanding the market as a whole, you would think that there are many sales happening, demand is picking up, all of these transactions are taking place, and at the same time, there's not a lot of new supply or new listings coming to the market. So we're seeing that demand pull up and increase while we are seeing that supply decrease. And while those things are true, it's very important to understand what was going on last year around the same time. But if we go back and look at 2025, it was a record-breaking year for both sales and new listings, where there were not that many sales happening. It was decades low. And then at the same time, there were many new listings coming to the market, as sellers couldn't exactly find the right buyers and active inventory was stacking up. So because 2025 was such a difficult year, seeing these jumps happen isn't that surprising, because what it's showing us is that this year is doing better than a terrible year last year, which is good news, but not necessarily something to get overly excited about. Because even though we are seeing this increase in demand and decrease in supply, we are still seeing prices fall almost 4% year over year. So this just goes to show, even though things are picking up in some markets across the GTA, overall prices are still pretty flat or on the way down. When we switch over to the actual sales figures around major home types of detached semis, townhouses, and condos, it shows some really interesting data. Like I said before, total sales is up in almost every category across the 416 and the 905. But when we take a look at average prices, you can see we're almost down in every category across the board. What I think is interesting to note here when we take a look at average price is the difference between the 905 and the 416. As prices continue to fall, fundamentals in buying real estate start to come a lot more important, like location. When the market was really hot and it was a very heavy seller's market, and buyers wouldn't exactly care about where the home was, they were just looking for something specific, maybe a little bit more space, more lot, maybe more backyard. And because of that, they were okay to drive a little bit further out of the 416, Mississauga, parts of Halton, or even further. But now, as people are getting called back to work in the downtown area, or just realizing that they would rather live closer to the city and not so much in the suburbs, we're finding that those areas and those homes are taking a much bigger hit on the price, as people are wanting to leave those suburbs, or that demand is not just staying as strong as it is in the 416. Again, there's many different factors of that, but at the end of the day, a lot of those jobs, especially higher paying jobs, are located in the downtown core and closer to the city. So while there is this story being told online and with the headlines that the market's rebounding because the total amount of sales is picking up, it's really important, especially if you're a buyer, to really understand the exact area and location that you're buying in, understand where those average prices are at, where those recent sales have been, just so that you really take your time and focus on finding the right home that you really need for the right price. Because at this moment, it doesn't seem that prices are going to rebound, or if you don't act now, you're going to miss out on a good deal. In my opinion, you still have the opportunity to really shop around and find what you're looking for. This doesn't mean that you should let a perfectly good deal go that checks all the boxes for you. But on the other hand, if you are a seller, I think it's really important to understand what's going on with prices in your area, just because this rebound might take longer than you expect. So if there is a certain price that you need and you're not seeing it in the market right now, it's really important to have that backup option of what you're going to do if the market does take longer to bring you the price that you need. That's all the information I have for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think's going to happen in the market. Will prices continue to fall, or is this the start of a rebound where prices will take off? And if you did get value out of this video, I would appreciate you dropping a like and also subscribing to the channel. That way, anytime I do post a video, you will get a notification about it right away and you'll be able to check it out. As always, if you did have more questions about buying or selling real estate here in the GTA, I would be more than happy to connect with you. There will be a link below in the caption of this video where you can book a time to speak with me around your schedule. And I'd be thrilled to connect with you and talk about your real estate goals, whether they are long or short term. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the next one.